What's going on, guys? It's Justin from Push and Profit. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day today. Now, a while ago, I made a video talking about Zoom. Is it a good time to buy Zoom, right? And I gave you my technical analysis in that video. Now, it's a different time, right? Zoom has been selling off aggressively, and a lot of people have been really skeptical of whether or not they should just get rid of Zoom, right? So I kind of want to talk about why right now is the best opportunity to get into Zoom as an investor, right? We're not talking about day trading. I know on this channel I talk a lot about day trading. We're talking about from the perspective of someone who's investing, right? And also, if you're already invested in Zoom, then continue watching this video because it's gonna help you out, okay? By the way, I'm holding this camera with my hand, and this camera is really heavy. I didn't feel like putting it on the tripod, so please forgive me. Right now, I'm day trading. If you guys could see the laptop and stuff like that, yeah, I'm just day trading in this setup. I have a new desk coming and stuff like that, but that's all relevant. You guys don't care about that. So we're going to go ahead and hop into my computer screen, or actually before we even hop into the computer screen, if you guys could definitely hit that like button, it really does help out with the channel. And also let me kind of talk about what's going on with Zoom. So recently, Zoom has been selling off. It hit an all-time peak and it's just been falling down, right? And then on top of that, we had news on Monday or just the other day about two vaccines that could potentially, help resolve this whole situation with COVID. They had a 90% success rate with Pfizer, right? Now, these vaccines are not out yet. They're just saying that they're close to being FDA approved. And with that news coming out, Zoom fell off tremendously, right? Now, the reason is because Zoom is a stock that thrives in this market of this corona economy, right, where people are working at home. There's just a lot of remote opportunities these days. People or students aren't really going to school anymore. For the most part, most of their classes are online, right? So shout out to all my people, going to college right now. I know it's tough, but everything's online, everything's with Zoom, right? Now, so that's the reason why Zoom is selling off, because any good news of the market, getting out of this corona economy is bad news for Zoom. However, something that I want to put into perspective is that even though these vaccines are getting close, so getting out there, it's still gonna take a while. Still gonna take a while for these vaccines to really circulate and get rid of COVID for the most part, right? So that's kind of one of that's just the background, the external factors that are like kind of influencing the price of the stock. But I want to look at it from a technical standpoint. You guys know that I'm a day trader and investor, and I look at things from of course, a technical perspective. I mean, I'm always gonna look at the news and what's going on in the market, but again, I like to make my trades based on technical analysis because in reality, I like looking at the numbers. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and hop into my laptop for real now, and we're gonna dive into some numbers and look at some charts. All right, so we're officially in my laptop. Right now, we're looking at the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. That's what I use to chart and trade on. So for those of you guys that might ask, because I get that a lot, I trade with TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. Does that mean that you have to? Absolutely not. There's other brokers out there, right? Now, we're taking a look at Zoom stock, right? Ticker symbol ZM, and we're looking at it from a 4-hour time frame, 180-day 4-hour time frame. And the reason we're looking at it from such a long time frame versus just looking at it from like a daily perspective is because the longer the time frame, the more valid the direction that for the overall direction. You could kind of see where things are going, right? So again, Zoom was going up. It hit this all-time high of 588 and started selling off, right? We bounced up a little, sold off, bounced up a little, sold off. And we're kind of at this point where we didn't exactly touch this linear regression channel on the bottom or this alert area that I had earlier. And that was probably because that was most likely a support if we go back and see. So we didn't quite touch it, right? But we bounced above it. Now, what makes this part very interesting and really good for investors, right, is the fact that we are bouncing up and we close above the exponential moving average. Now, why is this important? This is important because I always talk about getting stocks on a good deal after waiting for confirmation, because you don't want to get a stock simply just because it's selling off, right? So there's a lot of YouTubers, other people out there where if a stock is selling off, they're like, oh, buy it. Buy it. It's going down, right? And it just doesn't make sense, because what if you see this big day Zoom selling off and you're like, oh, buy Zoom here, it's on sale. And it's really not. It just sells off more. And then it keeps going lower. And then it keeps going lower, right? I'm not someone who likes to buy when things are just selling off, right? Because just because it's selling off doesn't mean it's on sale. Yes, it's cheaper, but it could honestly go cheaper, even more lower than that. So you want to wait for that opportunity where the selling seems to be done and it validates itself to going into an upward direction. So that's what we see here, right? We see here that after this big sell-off, and again, this big candle was because of the 2 vaccines getting close to FDA approval or getting started on all that. And again, if the corona economy gets better, then Zoom will most likely do bad. But there are a couple things like I mentioned, external factors where the vaccine isn't gonna come out right away. That's just not gonna happen. Even if they get approved, it's still going to take a while. There's just like a lot to consider. For example, it could take 16 months for it to actually come out because 3 months for the vaccine to be released, and problems could arise anytime soon. Plus, you also have to consider that we are in flu season, right? Flu season is this time, so it's just gonna be delayed, right? But again, the stock market is very emotional. There's a lot of overreaction, so that's why we had this big sell-off. So again, right here, we closed above the exponential moving average after moving up. So that's just telling us like, hey, things are on an upward direction, right? So, and I just want to calculate how far up. Wow, 13% since the low of yesterday. But anyways, the market for our Zoom stock is pretty much most likely going to continue going up from here. So if you're an investor, consider getting in at this point right here. And if you already bought in Zoom, maybe you bought in Zoom way down here and you didn't sell at the top and you're over here, that's fine. You could average down. Now, if you guys are unsure of what I mean by average down or average your position, I have another great video that explains that, so definitely check that out. But let's also take a look at the RSI. The RSI is saying that it is oversold, and not saying that the RSI is 100% guaranteed, but most likely if it's oversold, then we are expecting something to push back up. Just like how we were oversold at this area, we ended up breaking above the exponential moving average, going in an upward direction, and we were heading towards an upward direction till that news came out, and then again, there's an overreaction. But guess what? That just provides us with a better opportunity to get in. So if you're investing, right now is a great opportunity to get into Zoom. Do some dollar cost averaging if you're already invested. Now, where would I sell Zoom? Honestly, I look at Zoom as a long-term hold. I have Zoom in my long-term portfolio, but from a just a swing trade perspective, I would say around here, right, which is the support from earlier. So I'm gonna go ahead and put an alert right here so we could kind of keep track, right? So when it hits this area over here, if I was in the swing trade, that's where I would sell, because again, it was a support over here, and old support becomes new resistance, and it also was a support around or resistance at this area as well. So it kind of just makes sense that once we go to this area, there most likely will be a pushback, but that still gives you an opportunity to make a nice additional 6% trade, which is very good in my book. But again, I look at Zoom as a long-term trade or like a long-term holding, so I would probably get in here and just like ride it up higher, because again, the linear regression channels, it could still keep going higher. So we just really got to pay attention to Zoom. Like I said, this is really a great opportunity, both from a technical standpoint and just also going over what's going on in the overall market. With that being said, make sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Sorry that I'm clearing my throat. I just had Taco Bell, and I just had like the smoothie drink, so I'm just like choking now. But anyways, also consider checking out the links in the description below, because one of the links is a link to our free Facebook group, the Push and Profit Facebook group. And in that group, I upload a nightly watch list of stocks that offer potential to make a profit. And it's just a community of individuals interested in trading in the stock market. Also, the second link is a link to get a free stock with Webull when you sign up with our code. So basically, if you deposit $100, you might be able to win a stock that's up to $1,600. But regardless of what stock you get, you are guaranteed a free stock. So definitely check that out. Webull is a great platform, and I often recommend a lot of new traders to check it out. And with that being said, guys, my name is Justin from Push and Profit. Have a great rest of your day, and take care.